easy to forget what you can and cannot recycle, right?
Yeah.
That's your line. It says your name.
Oh, I was taking it in. I was thinking about it. Yeah, it is easy to think that.
It is.
But our friends at Republic Services have a few tips for us.
So at home, we find ourselves wondering, oftentimes, what's recyclable and what's not. Plastic is one of the biggest questions that we get, and it's fairly easy to determine what you should recycle and what you shouldn't at home. So starting with plastic containers, these are the best items to recycle at home. They're rigid, it's sort of a container fashion, so think of bottles, jugs, and tubs. Those are what can absolutely go in the recycle bin at home. And when you recycle those plastic bottles, you got to replace the cap. That's part of the process of empty, clean, dry. We want to make sure that the plastic lid itself actually gets recycled. Because it's very small, if it goes loose inside your recycle bin, it'll get lost in the process. But it also helps to contain any excess condensation or leftover liquid inside that plastic bottle or jug. The flexible plastics, on the other hand, these are where we get a little bit more of that confusion. We see that they say, please recycle, or they have a recycle symbol on them, but that doesn't mean that they actually go in your recycle bin. What you've got to do with these is you've got to take them back to a grocery store. Here's a good example of them trying to do the right thing. Inside the recycle symbol, we see the little phrase, store drop-off. That's exactly what you have to do with it, but oftentimes we see the recycle symbol, we think automatically goes in the recycle bin, but that's not the case. These are a little more special handling. Something like this, where it's got that cardboard tray, you'd actually want to separate it, take those items back to the grocery store, and then the good cardboard can actually go in your recycle bin. We've got good paper products, boxes, white paper, newspaper, metal cans, glass bottles and jars. Those are all the right things to recycle, and aluminum is one of the best things that you can recycle at home. There's no limit to how many times you can actually recycle an aluminum can. The thing is, though, we just have to make sure that the soda is rinsed out a little bit, just like our plastic bottles. We rinse those out, get out as much of the liquid as we can, because all this stuff gets mixed together in your recycle bin at home. If that liquid, whether it's soda, juice, spills out on the fragile things like cardboard or paper, the cardboard or paper actually has to get thrown away. So it's really important that we practice what we call empty, clean, dry before we place anything in the recycle bin. But again, going back to these special handling items, we just got to have a little bit more of a conscious effort when we take these things and we want to recycle them. One last thing we can talk about are the peanuts that come in our packaging. While these can't be recycled, most of these shippers, you can actually take them back to the store, drop them off, and they'll be reused, or you can save them for reuse. But again, these are the wrong plastic items. You've got to focus on the good stuff. And if you want, you can check out recyclingsimplified.com. There's a lot of great tips and tricks on there to become the best recycler you can be.
I like those segments. I learn a little bit every time.
Every time.
Right?
Yep.
Republic Services is part of our Super Recycle event this Saturday at the Thomas and Mack. That goes from 8 until 2.